And what is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, everyone. I just got out of work. I was doing a little bit of research. I got to give a few disclaimers at the beginning. This is about why people get annoyed. And just so you guys know, you may not believe me. I'm not in any cliques here. I'm my own man. I'm my own madman. I'm just giving you information, passing it along. I don't want harassment towards anyone. But, no buts. No, I'm not saying but. I don't want harassment, period. I don't want harassment any which direction. Do not contact these people. Do not contact Stephen Colbert. And I don't know. There's things I've heard that he's been harassed in the past. Snyder fans too. I don't know. If that's the truth, I would call that shit out as well. But what I will say is I kind of understand why people get annoyed with the streams where he pops up on, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's that he's also sarcastic and kind of seems like it's like the equivalent of this nerd that says, "Oh, I want to answer because they get annoyed with everything. Am I right? Do I get a cookie?" Well, I don't have any I do have some cookies over there by the coffee maker. Yeah, you get a cookie, and it's a mint striped cookie from Aldi's. Oh, hold on. Let me plug in my headphones again. Okay, so here's the context for you, Nerdette. He was one of he works for Screen Rant, Steven, which I found out recently. And he was one of the ones that heavily implied that the Snyder Cut didn't exist back in the day. I'll bring up one of his articles here. And to me, in my subjective opinion, it feels like someone that works in the industry that doesn't want to admit they're wrong about something and is condescending and calling everyone else stupid. You know, and then he also has access to Zack Snyder on streams because of his associations with Film Junkee, which is fine. I subscribe to Film Junkee. I follow everyone. I don't have issues with Film Junkee. I'm sorry. But yes, here is, let me bring up this article here. But this is I'm going to show something that he did recently too. Why they, yeah, because they can't be. Well, Tim, there is actually context that there's a lot of people that have been grifting off of saying nothing's just like Geeks and Gamers. Okay, it's dead. It's not going to happen. That is a whole grift on YouTube. I was right. Do you know how easy it is to suggest that something's going to fail or doesn't exist or doesn't happen? That's a grift, and you make money on it. So's what Sil does, saying it's okay, fair enough. You're not a fan of Sil. I've criticized Sil myself in the past. I'm not no simp either. Okay. I'm just giving you this info because of what he did recently. All right. So here's the article that he posted. Now, the article, he was wrong in the article. It's not like a crime. This is not a crime. But then him calling other people stupid consistently is where I think he constantly steps in the shit. He constantly is mocking other people when he won't actually accept his L. Accepting L's on the internet. I accept my L's. Okay. I was wrong about Kathy Kennedy. I was real wrong. I was right about certain aspects, but I was wrong in other aspects for sure. And I own that. But while not accepting the L and constantly being sarcastic and calling other people stupid and insane, this is, and I am willing to criticize everyone. I will specify, though, that I like to punch up on people that have a lot of influence. I don't like to go off what I think is small YouTube creators or viewers or idiots on Twitter. That's me personally. Everyone's different. Okay. So there's nothing really wrong with this article. Don't expect a Snyder Cut of Justice League anytime soon. Published November 25th, 2017. So that doesn't age well. And then this is the thing that really annoys a lot of us here, because I've had friends that even when the Snyder Cut was about to be released, and this is not Matt Jarbo. Matt Jarbo didn't do this. I'm just gonna make that clear. He's not one of them that did this to me. But he told one of my friends that no longer talks to me, said, it's not gonna come out. Just let it go. Just let it go. And then they used the straw man argument that people actually believe it. All you have to do is take it off a shelf and ready to distribute it. Maybe some people suggested that. The majority of the movement at that time did not think it was ready to just put in the theater. People understood that a cut is a working cut and it needs work to be done to be released. Released into the public. It wasn't just take it off a shelf. But this is the narrative that was run with. And also like John Campea. John Campea did the same thing. It beat for beat. They used word for word. The Snyder fans think you just take it off the shelf and release it. No. Lots of people understood that's not possible. And there's still need to be work to be done. But a cut, if you understand the industry, a working cut before special effects are finalized that's presented to the studios is very common. And yes, there were some of us. Now, I wasn't really prevalent back in the Snyder Cut back then, but there were some of us that said, just release what you have. Just release what you have so we could see it. Not that it's finished, but let's see it. Little Movie Perp says, yeah, I didn't think it was going to come out. I would troll Film Gob. When I did an apology tour giving flowers to Gob and congratulating him on being part of internet history. Okay, so that's the context there. And this is, now, like lots of these people in the industry, his Twitter activity is where he gets himself in trouble. He likes to troll on Twitter. He likes to call people stupid. He likes to mock them. And I think that's why he gets so much heat. For instance, the article's not that bad, but when you have receipts like this, Zack's Cut doesn't exist, and then more recently, let's get to this. This just happened. He won't stop. Now this is, if you get annoyed by Snyder fans, you're probably going to think this is funny. Yeah. Nerdette, but I know you well enough that I think you would accept the L. Like, I didn't think it exists. But this is what he calls everyone crazy with the context of his internet behavior, mocking people that thinks it exists, And then he's constantly invited to streams with Zack Snyder, where a lot of the people that fought for the Snyder Cut are not invited for various reasons. They're not in the same circles. They're not in the clique. But I can understand where it could be annoying because he constantly is condescending to everyone else, calling everyone morons. You're insane. That's what he's suggesting here. A pretty butterfly. So he's pretty much gone full. Steven has gone full circle to go back the way he was pre-Snyder Cut in calling people crazy because they think there could be a continuation. So he's gone exactly where he's, tell me what you see and then proof the Snyder Cut is being restored. And then people called him out on it. And then he just keeps retweeting. When did I say that? Man is still bitter. He said when he won't admit it. At the very least, admit that it looks like you said that. And this is what he said in 2018. And he won't take the L. I don't listen there, Dad. I'm never going to talk to Zack. And I'll be real. This might get me in trouble. I don't think I can ever, just like the Amico. I was always kind of like on the outskirts of the hardcore Amico fans because I can't. How do I say it without being offensive? I can't kiss that much ass for access. I'm sorry. That's the truth. I think you can all say we're just fans. I think for a lot of situations, you have to kiss a lot of ass for access. And I just can't do it. I kick ass, I don't kiss ass. And I can't stay in the inner circles of any group. Because you have to be in the bubble, in the clique. And I'm never the most popular guy either. I'm never the most I had some popularity in school. I'm never the most popular person. I'm the one everyone knows, but I'm never the most popular. Yeah. But yeah, Comics League, yeah. But this is the context, and this is the Snyder Cut call campaign is about to convince WB that there are 40 people that, in all caps, really want the Snyder Cut. So he was mocking the people that were doing the hard work, actually calling Warner Brothers, asking for the Snyder Cut. That's the context. And then he shows up. Now, I'm not going to be a gatekeeper and say, oh, you can't change your mind. You can't talk to Zack now. But then if you consistently play this game, being condescending to other people, act like they're moronic or they're insane. So, let me see. So why would they be annoyed after being right? Shouldn't they be pleased? Because he's sitting there right next to Zack and he's calling other fans crazy when they know the context of his actions online. And you're going to see a thread here because I'm going to show you some other people that make their money online with articles. And I'll tell you what, there is a lot of money. And I'll tell you what, Snyder fans are part of the problem. When they see something that is not rosy for the Snyderverse, they click that shit like crazy. And that's why I put them on. Snyderverse fans are part of the problem. They go and click that stuff and they make this man money. Just like Scott Mendelson, Humberto Gonzalez. They make a lot of money on triggering people. Just like a lot of the internet does. There's a lot of money to be made. There's still a lot of people that really just do not like Zack Snyder or his fans and make money off of that. There is. Why would you feel bad for them? Those poor WB interns answering the phones, I feel for them. If they were being polite and asking for something, there's nothing wrong with that. That would be awesome. letter writing campaigns, phone calls. We should try it again. I think we need another phone call campaign. Hey, Taladia. These mind games he's doing, this is what he has caused. I know, but they have to answer the phones anyway, you know. Strange Marvel Theories, $5. Max, your community is your click. We have your back. I look forward daily to conversing with you in this community until the end of the line. I really appreciate that, Strange Marvel Theories. And I appreciate all the support you've shown to this channel and me. I really appreciate it. But so this is other things. He says more tweets aren't going to make this happen. Also, the buzz isn't growing. It's contained in a specific group of people who aren't good at getting others to join their cause. Lots of people don't believe it even exists. Now, he's not saying he does, but he did say it in a different tweet. Lying about it existing reinforces that belief. Now, he's saying, to be fair, he's saying, oh, the context isn't there, but I don't know how you could spin that. I really don't. And he keeps going. He just won't accept. I want M more too. Okay. So that's where he gets all this. That's where he gets this negative aura surrounding him because of his past. Well, you know what the common denominator with all this stuff is? Twitter. It's Twitter. People acting like idiots on the internet. So he acts a certain way when Zack's there, but then he mocks people and calls them stupid when he's on Twitter. That's all. And I'll bring up some more stuff here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Now, this is people's subjective opinion. They interpreted the way he asked the question. And for better or for worse, viewers, he did ask the question about selling Zack Snyder or sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. Okay. But people interpreted it subjectively that he was kind of mocking the idea. And I will say this. I think on both sides, people are overly enthusiastic on Zack's comments that it's possible and overly enthusiastic that this means it's done. And I consistently have said it's possible either way. Never say never. It's a Hail Mary. This new campaign. But if you're not being toxic, and I always give that caveat, follow the rules of engagement. If you're not toxic, it really doesn't hurt anything. It really doesn't hurt anything because if it doesn't happen, it's a lot better than fire James Gunn. I don't want James Gunn fired. Now that all this is just a quick topic, Brian. At this point, it's getting sad, to be honest. Well, does it hurt you, Anthony? Does it hurt you? Or are you just trying to convince others? You know, it doesn't hurt anything. No matter what's been said, Strange Marvel Theory says this guy thinks he dictates the narrative. That's what, but that it's not like he's the only one. A lot of people on the internet want to be right. A lot of people on the internet. I mean, we didn't even get to Casey Walsh yet. Wait till we get to Casey Walsh. And these are consistently the people that really spend all their days just battling people on Twitter. And I think it's a disease now. I honestly feel sorry for him. Stop with this Twitter disease. Because he, in person, he'll act a certain way, but then you're a jackass and an asshole on Twitter. And that goes both ways. Everyone stop. Snyderverse fans, if you actually want something and you carry Zack's name, stop being assholes. Okay, but here is let me bring this, make sure I have the audio here. I'm just having fun. I'm just doing whatever sorry, Brian. I didn't include you in this one because obvious reasons. It's a certain topic. Okay. So this is from, and I enjoyed Film Junkie's interview. I didn't think it was boring. I know some critics of Dave or film junkies say it was boring. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great interview. But I think there's different interpretations of Zack's comments on the future. And there has been certain things, there's cherry picked, things for each narrative. I think both sides are cherry picking things for each narrative. All right, so let's get to him asking Zack.
Will Warner Brothers sell the Snyderverse to another studio and have them do it?
Amazing to learn is that my influence over those things is very small. It'd be amazing if.
Now, his answer there, the way he said that, I also interpreted a little bit of a smirk because he thinks it's ridiculous. And there might be viewers here that think it's ridiculous. If money could be made, it's on the table, but it's a Hail Mary to me. But I would throw that Hail Mary if I was the quarterback. And honestly, he has to kind of distance himself, Zack, from the campaign. And he can't really seem like he's pushing them along either. And in this very interview, Zack did say he thanked Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, which also proves the last 2 years of Snyderverse grifters that have been saying it's dead for 2 years wrong. The possibilities were not dead until recently for a continuation at Warner Brothers. This is only a recent event since James Gunn was been hired. We'll get more into that later. But here, let's get back to Zack here. Now, this isn't the slam dunk that the critics want either, that say, oh, he completely dismissed it. He didn't completely dismiss it. He just said, well, it's not up to me, and I'm focused on Rebel Moon. But then he also said, thank you so much to Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. He said he is friends with James Gunn, but he actually thanked the good relationship at Warner Brothers with Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, not James Gunn. So that should be considered. And then he says, what that means for the future, I can't say. I don't know. But right now, I'm in the Rebel Moon business. That's all the context. I don't have all the clips, but that's what he said. Strange Marvel theories. Well, I too want to be right. My channel depends on it. I've had correct predictions and theories. However, I'm not arrogant over it. Yeah, and accept your else. It's toxic to state facts. What facts? What's the facts, Anthony? I'm not saying it's going to continue. He said that he is focused on the Rebel Moon business. It's above his pay grade. And he said his current good relationship with Warner Brothers for the Full Circle event happened because of Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. That actually gives credibility to the rumors that Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca were working to have one more go with maybe not Zack, but the Justice League. And in my opinion, if Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca helped Zack Snyder, because that's who he thanked. He didn't thank James Gunn in this situation. And I do think people are cherry picking that. This could have been set up, this Full Circle event could have been planned before James Gunn took over. And they still let Zack go ahead with this Full Circle event. Can you imagine if this Full Circle event happened and James Gunn did not take over and announce that he is rebooting or a soft reboot, and then they introduce Henry Cavill in Black Adam, and then also have this Full Circle event? Can you imagine those circumstances together? This makes me subjectively believe that there were things on the table. There's a lot of proof in the pudding there that something was going on. You know? There's a lot there. I know, Brian. I know, but it goes on both sides. Like I'm in Kal-El. Okay. All right. So here's let's get to this.
Whatever control over the IP exists, I don't. That's not my part. That's not my role. As they say, above.
See, it's not my rule. Whatever part. So he doesn't dismiss it entirely. I think both sides are cherry picking this part. I really do. He doesn't shut the door. The door is still cracked there. He's not laughing at it. And honestly, they're not laughing in Zack Snyder's face either on the stream, but they are laughing on Twitter later. You take what you need for your narrative, you cherry pick it, each side. All right. I'm trying to be fair down the middle. I know people don't think that, but I am.
Above my pay grade, and Warner Brothers, as far as this screening event is concerned, have been incredible. This group.
Now, right there, when he said incredible, for some reason they cut out Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, because I saw the whole interview, and right there he's like, they've been amazing. He said Pam and Mike made this happen. Pam and Mike made this happen. And for some reason, they decided to clip that out in this short 59 seconds.
Group now is beyond kind and caring and personal.
But he's talking about Pam and Mike, the ones that were working before James Gunn. And Zaslav on the investor call even said, Pam and Mike are working on beefing up these projects, making the best they could be. And then they filmed scenes with the Trinity. For all the remaining slate, and then they removed them again. So there's a lot more here than just calling people crazy. All right.
And it's been amazing working with them. So I have no complaints. Beyond that, as far as the creative goes and what they're planning, I honestly have been busy shooting this movie. I have no idea.
well, surprise guest.
Okay, and then this part is another. I mean, he's being entertaining here, the film junkie, but what he's doing here is James Gunn. James Gunn enters the chat and does another condescending mark, act like Snyder fans don't know that James Gunn and Zack Snyder go way back. An argument that I'm sure some people argue, but not the vast majority. It's in a similar vein as the there's not a Snyder cut that just could be taken off a shelf and released to the public. We know that James Gunn helped on the Dawn of the Dead remake and wrote it. But he wasn't much help to the continuation of Snyder fans right now, or the Snyderverse right now, or any continuation of these characters. All right. Let me play the rest of this here.
We have James Gunn showing up. Just kidding.
James is like, look, James is a buddy. So, I mean, James wrote Dawn of the Dead. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Will Warner Brothers?
Okay. I don't know what's going with the viewership. All of a sudden, it's dipped. What the hell? Yeah. Right. Anyone else buffering? I don't know. YouTube's been acting weird lately. All right. So here's the full here's more. All right. And I have nothing against any of these people. And don't send any negativity their way for any of them. Any of them. Okay.
That's helpful though. There's no way that Twitter will misconstrue any of this.
See, that's like condescending and acting like he's the most intelligent man in the room, that people aren't gonna interpret things different ways. Everyone's allowed to interpret it a different way. You're not the authority on. So what's the critique? That his also his internet activity, I think, gets him in certain situations. You know, I think he's also, I've seen some proof there that he's obsessed with Twitter, just like the rest. And he won't accept his own L. And I understand why people get annoyed with this scenario. I really do. Even though I'm not jealous. I'm not going to talk to Zach. I don't care. I just understand when he posts the stuff like he did the other day, where he's like looking at the Rorschach test. What do you see? The Snyderverse is restored. He constantly, yeah, I know. I get it. I know, perp. I know. It's just like they act like they're so innocent. I get it. I'm just explaining. That's all. Because I thought I was researching it today, and it was quite hilarious of how the things he said in the past. It's basically as John Campea, if John Campea was sitting there right next to Zach when he said, "Oh, John Campea told," you know what John Campea did? Probably based off of, he probably read his Screen Rant article saying that there's not a cut that you could just release to the public right now, not a finished cut, which no one was really arguing. So he probably took that as his basis for his rant to say, Zack Snyder, you need to shut the F up. You need to shut the F up. So that is what John Campea did to Zach. And it's basically him being in the room and still that same energy towards other people that have a different opinion on the future. That's where it's coming from. All right. That's, it doesn't justify him getting pushback or anything like that, but I'm going to criticize him for sure. But it's that's what the equivalent to me is. Like, oh, he's one of those guys like Humberto Gonzalez or Scott Mendelson that just likes to trigger people online consistently. And I say, part of the problem, take the bait. Okay. Let me.
Or have any issues with this discussion now, so I really appreciate
See?
it.
They're laughing. It's kind of like laughing from being perched above. We get to talk with Zach and we're laughing at everyone else. That's kind of the energy I'm getting, laughing at everyone else that has a different opinion. It's very condescending with the context of his Twitter activity, and the way he trolls online, which, yeah, everyone does, except me. I don't really troll online as like I used to. I don't troll on Twitter. So it seems very condescending. They're laughing their asses off, laughing at other people that aren't in the room. It's kind of like, it's kind of lame to me.
Really appreciate. We're not going to face the same issues after this one, so that's we're on a good. That's helpful though. There's no way that Twitter will misconstrue any of this or have any issues with.
Although Twitter, that is a fair statement though. All right, and here's these. All you need to know without going into more context is people like this in industry have had a long history of saying things are going to happen. Let me see what. Yeah, there's way too much arrogance around the situation, way too much. They are laughing because they made a joke that kind of bombed. Their James Gunn joke was met with, I know him actually. They're acting like that's the majority of the criticism. They're straw manning it, perp. They're suggesting that the people that have criticisms with James Gunn don't even know that he got along with Zack Snyder in the past. Now, that doesn't mean that he gets along with him. It doesn't mean that they help each other out now. I think James is looking out for James, and that's it. Obviously, from his slate announcement, it's very James focused. Even though I want to see all that, there's There's nuance. I want to see all the movies that he's going to produce, but it's very much James Gunn focused, a lot of the projects, and he can't direct everything. Okay. I would invite you on, Perp, if you're available. I don't know. You could push back on me. I respect you. But I don't want to. We got to get to Casey Walsh. Holy shit, man. That's some crazy stuff there. All right, let me see if the Perp is available. This is just for fun. Like, no one take any of this shit too seriously. I'm at the point where I don't take any of this shit seriously anymore. Yeah. I think that's not only a very cynical view, but also some projection. You mean on my part? On my part? I don't know. Yeah, oh, you're not available? Okay. I like that James Gunn has a vision. Well, there's lots of people that I'll be real. I kind of think I think it's like similar. I kind of think the James Gunn situation there is sort of like the Kathy Kennedy situation. They let them announce things, let them work on stuff, but actually things going through is going to be few and far between, just like Disney Star Wars right now. And the focus is going to be on Joker 2, Matt Reeves, Batman 2, the Batman side projects, where the majority of the stuff may never come out, may never happen, except Superman Legacy, and then it will be sold. I honestly think that Zaslav looked at the debt. So, there's a lot more debt than I was realizing, and is only going to go for surefire hits, and then is going to flip it. Take the debt down, only do surefire hits like the Batman 2, Joker 2, Batman spinoff on HBO Max. Announce a slate that may never happen, is my opinion. That's my personal opinion. I don't think that's being toxic to say based on the circumstances. I don't think I doubt any of this stuff's going to happen before they are considered for sale again to Universal in 2024. And then you'll have a brand new film, Superman Legacy, an actual reboot to flip to a new company purchasing the IP. I just think they'll let them spinning the wheels, but when it comes to the foot on the gas with these projects, I don't think it's coming anytime soon. No time soon. That's why I'm like, okay, we announced a slate. Oh, how many times has this happened in Hollywood? And it's not just DC, it's Star Wars, it's Universal, I don't think the slate is realistic based on the current situation. You go with the Batverse. All right. Hey, it's called Gods and Monsters, yes. If they actually start greenlighting and filming projects besides Superman Legacy, I will take the Elsevier. If they say, for example, if they say we are starting filming on Superman Legacy, and then we're also starting filming on Batman the Brave and the Bold, or we're starting filming on the Wonder Woman series at the same time, or what's that other group of superheroes? I forget what they're called. If they start filming them at the same time, I will eat the crow gladly. I'm like, hey, we're getting more DC projects, and they're starting filming them all at the same time. But I doubt that's going to happen. I think the more likely scenario is that they'll start filming Superman Legacy and then to see if it hits. And then if that takes off, then the next company will go ahead with his slate, Yeah, that stuff is a given, Samir. Creature Commandos and Waller were already in the production line before James Gunn took over. They were. I'm not actively against it. No, I think it's unlikely that they would start filming on anything except Superman Legacy. And if I'm wrong on that, I will come back and I will take a giant L. I'm like, wow, they're actually filming this along with the Wonder Woman Paradise, whatever, and the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and I forget that other group of superheroes that's sort of like the Justice League, but not. If they start filming multiple projects at the same time or close within a window, I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. I don't think so. I think they're just letting them develop it so we could sell it to the next company with a fresh start. Okay. So I guess we should here's these guys, Umberto and Scott Mendelson have had a history of just a lot of their most relevant, or not most relevant, a lot of their most viewed articles are the ones triggering people. And I went over this. I was one of the few that actually stood by The Rock explaining that Black Adam was in development way before Shazam 1. And the development of that project was always to have the JSA and have The Rock meet Superman and go take on Superman. So if there's any issue with Black Adam and where The Rock was going to take it, it should have been handled before it started filming. And that's on the Warner Brothers management, because this was always developed as a project to eventually meet up with Superman and not Shazam from the jump. But you don't get all that context. This is very one-sided and cherry-picked. That The Rock destroyed Shazam because he wouldn't cameo. And this may be the reason that Henry Cavill didn't cameo in the first Shazam, because they don't tell you this part of the development of Black Adam. It's probably in development for like 10 years. And then all of a sudden, Shazam gets fast-tracked. You know? They did Shazam 2. We never got a Man of Steel 2, but we got Shazam 2. Why waste the money of developing the slate if they're not going to sell it and start? Because it's a good pitch to a new investor, Samir. You say we have projects in active development, but you're still not having the big cash load of actually starting production. You say we have a Bible, a 10-year Bible. It's a sales pitch. That's why. That's just one example. All right, now let's get to Casey Walsh. And this is gross. He's another one that's obsessed with just constantly. He's got social media disease, and it's pretty disgusting what I'll show you. Now, I also have seen horrible things from Snyder fans on Twitter, too. But they do not have the influence that Casey Walsh does. And this is just disgusting. I have a source that sent this to me, and I think I'll share it here. Well, first off, let me. Okay, hold on. All right. This is kind of what this crazy mother effer does all day. And I've talked to him once before. I think I was on a stream with him once. So this is him on Twitter. He says, I hope every one of my followers calls this guy a B and has to spend their entire. This is the kind of activity that there's a history here. There's a history here of just horrible behavior from people in the industry. That's where I want to focus on. I know there's going to people be like, Max doesn't call out the other side. For the people that have a big following, I will. Absolutely. And I've been critical of Sill Nation and Mikey Sutton. But this is no way to behave. Look at this. So this is on Twitter. I hope every one of my followers calls this guy and has to spend his entire at blocking people, all because he thought he was tough and wanted to play with the big boys. And people also want to know where this, beta comes from. This kind of behavior is very this guy would not be saying this in real life. He's actually asking all of his followers, and I'll have to see how many followers he has because I follow him, to go after people. And then I know people don't like, people are not too much of a fan of Sammy the Snyder Queen. But 14K followers. Wow, Casey Walsh actually trying to send his 14K followers to harass and bully another content creator because he doesn't agree with an opinion on superheroes. That's such deranged behavior. And I absolutely agree with that. And then this is his response. Nah, B, you're next. I encourage everyone to tell this psychopath that she needs mental help. Now, this is the consistent thing, too, I've seen. You believe, they actually believe that there's something mentally unstable, but then they still say, all my 14K followers go after this person. That's bullshit. All right? Doesn't understand the movie industry. He's the GOAT of the movie industry, Casey Walsh. He's very condescending. And I think even in an article the other day, there was an article on another site that Casey Walsh admitted that he was wrong about something. Is completely delusional, and everyone, including her friends, thinks she is deranged. Look at this. Look at that. All right. And then I don't know what this is about, but I will also show this. Hold on a second. And that's where I'll end it. This is just my thoughts. This is just my thoughts. Okay. Let me bring that down. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Uh-oh, my wife's coming down. Oh, no, Basil. All right. And then this situation, which is Twitter working in action. Violation. We locked the count for breaking. We found they broke our reports about their behavior. So this is the kind of stuff that we see on here. And it's a bad across the board. So at least give people more the benefit of the doubt when they're upset with these certain individuals. And the type of behavior I saw just from Casey Walsh at the end is horrendous. And it's disgusting. And yes, he is also a scooper. And I put all scoopers in the same situation. But regardless, this is where I think we get to this point here. Why Snyderverse grifters love James Gunn. And why the ones that constantly battle on Twitter love him. And it goes back to Steven at the beginning. Because James Gunn stopped these grifters from accepting a huge L. Because if James Gunn did not step in, and then we had this full circle event, and one of the last movies you got to see Henry Cavill at the end of Black Adam, all these people that have been sitting for 2 years straight since, what was the lady from Warner that said the cul-de-sac? They would have been proven wrong because things didn't stop until very recently. And there was a lot of activity behind the scenes. And I think also Zach proved it on the Film Junkee stream when he thanked Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. So things were happening. There were options on the table. And only recently did things fall through. So the next time you mock someone, call them crazy, or they've been an idiot for 2 years, please consider that you might have been wrong. And that's why you love Gunn so much, is he stopped you from accepting a huge L. And that's my final comment. Oh, my wife is putting an L on me. My wife is putting an L on me. But that is why I think they love Gunn so much. And they're fans too. I'm not saying they're not fans. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. What are you doing? You're going to get the dogs all worked up. You're making coffee. My wife is trying to mess up the stream. So that's my thoughts. Anyone else want to get something in right before we end the stream? This is just a pop-up stream giving you my thoughts, giving some context, and understand that, yes, everyone needs to watch their behavior. Everyone needs to calm down. And I'll tell you what, I would love to talk to Stephen Colbert in the future. I have nothing personally against him, but I think after seeing this, I don't really want to associate with Casey Walsh. If this is accurate, this is like really bad. No excuse for that. Even if you think the person's wrong about what's going to happen, there's no need for that. There's no need for that behavior. That's all I got. I'll see you guys later. I hope you all have a good one. And we'll get back to movie talk later. Take care, everyone.